Hey, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
It's Friday. It's
Oh my
Friday.
goodness. It's
Thank
finally
doggy.
here.
It's Friday. Thank dog. It's Friday.
Happy
Yeah.
TDIF,
Oh,
everyone.
I know. Yes. And TDIF has a special meaning for us. Thank dog. It's Friday means we get to craft, we get to have fun, we get to relax.
Yep.
We don't have to worry about all the other craziness that's been going on for the week. And I feel like I keep saying that every Friday, the last several Fridays. And I told Hillary, like, I know next week is going to be just as crazy. So we're going to take this moment of zen and joy and just have all kinds of fun. I think somebody's at the front doors, the dogs are barking, so there's not a whole lot of zen going on right now. But we're going to take whatever little scraps of zen we can find. Ginger, it's okay. You're okay. So we have got a really fun craft for us to do today. We're going to be doing some wood slice snowman ornaments. And we've got the whole crew here ready to dive in.
Sure do. They must have heard your pups.
I was going to say, did Ginger wake him up? I know. These snowman ornaments are going to be so cute. Last week, if you haven't seen our live from last week, go check it out because we made this adorable jack-o'-lantern garland. And in fact, I mentioned to Hillary, like, should I take the pumpkins down because we're doing a Christmas thing today? But we're just blending all the holidays one right after the other. So anyway, these wood slice ornaments turn out so cute, so fun. Each little jack-o'-lantern has its own little personality, own little face. So it's really cute. We're going to kind of do the same thing this week, a little bit of a twist because it's wintry, it's snowmen, it's all kinds of good stuff. But I'll just show you like some of the end result so you can see. These are just the cutest little snowman ornaments. Like, aren't these adorable? Like, look how cute
turn out so cute. And again,
they're so fun.
They all get to have their own little personality. Yes. Like whatever items that you use to kind of put them together and embellish them. So it is so fun.
Can be a little quirky. So we're going to take some just some leftover chunks of sweater if you have some. I've cannibalized this for other parts. We've made, I think, sweater pumpkins and things over the years. I have a sweater cardigan that no longer fits me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to chop right into it. And we're going to use the sweaters to make these adorable little snow caps on our snowmen. And they're going to be so cute. Really, it's going to turn out so fun.
And I have like the toe of a sock, like a fuzzy sock or something that you can do too.
Yes. So, I use the sleeve of my cardigan. So if it's already kind of rounded, obviously that's perfect. And I think that's genius because you don't have that much gluing to do, which is great. And then, and so we'll get to that later in just a second because we have to decorate the face first. We're just going to paint the face and make it a little blingy. And so the first thing we want to do is get some white acrylic paint or chalk paint. We're just going to paint a nice thin layer of white paint on top.
And this is nice because they dry really quick like this. These wood slices are natural, and so it soaks up that paint really quickly, so you don't have to wait too long to move on to the next steps or anything.
And
if you need some wood slices, we have a link in the description for like all of the items that we're using for this particular project.
Isn't this awesome?
Oh, that one's nice.
Yeah, it comes with the jute and some cotton red and white striped baker's twine, 50 slices. I was getting low on my other stash of wood slices, and some of them were kind of looking ugly. And so I thought, well, let me splurge and these are all perfect. They're the perfect width, size, depth, all that good stuff. And they're all really pretty. So sometimes your wood slices look kind of yucky, and you want to use an ugly one for things you're going to cover up and use pretty ones for things that are going to show more. These are all pretty in that little kit. So Hillary was saying that the paint dries quickly on this one. At least for me, I'm going to add a little bit of glitter. So I'm going to want to work quickly while the paint is still wet, because I'm going to get some micro glitter, some tiny little glitter, and add that on top as soon as my wood slice is covered.
And it's so nice because it gives your snowman that little bit of That little bit of sparkle from this little snowflakes.
Yeah, it just kind of reminds you of the twinkle in the snowflake that you would see. All right. But you can skip that part, so that's totally fine. We're just going around the edge. You don't have to go right up to the edge. And you don't have to do 2 or 3 coats or anything. You can still see the grain through it. I'm going back over because my glue or my paint has dried just a little bit, just to add, make it a little wetter. All right. And there we go. Yay. All right. And so I'm going to take, we had this, you can buy these kits as is of little micro glitters. They are micro, like these are tiny, tiny, tiny little specks of glitter. And I'm using kind of the clear or the white version of this. And I'm just going to quickly just take the tiniest little pinch. I'm sprinkling it on, and you probably can't shuffle it. So I'm, or knock the wood. So I'm just using my finger and kind of just dusting it, pressing it.
And it's nice because it's so fine. You can actually do that. Yeah. Like when you actually dip your finger in, you get enough to
you don't need a lot. Yeah.
Spread it. So
yeah. All right. So I don't know if you can see a shimmer, but it's there. It looks super cute. It's just that extra little touch that adds a kind of unexpected sparkle to your, so if it's hanging on a Christmas tree,
you'll definitely catch the light and it'll twinkle. So,
you'll definitely get to see a little bit of a twinkle there, which is nice. All right, so I'm gonna get the paint off my hands. Okay, so you can jump right into doing the face, but what I like to do is, from having done these a couple times, I like to do the hat first, because then you know how much space you're working with your face. So we're going to do the hat next. And if you're working with a chunk of sweater, I would recommend, and this depends on the size of your wood disc, but I would say about 7 inches, 6-7 inches wide, and about 6 or 7 inches, maybe 7 to 8 inches long is what you'll need. And I like having the ribbing as part of that if you can, because we're going to fold that up and make that look like the rim or the brim of the hat. I'm going to fold that over a couple times, and I'm going to glue that real quick.
Cute. So, and I'm just working with what I've got here. So I've got the little toe of my sock, and I'll try to figure out, like, I may need to trim this down a little bit and then roll it up and kind of make that brim that Patty's making.
Yeah, you can just roll. You can just roll it up. That would be really cute. So I just folded it down once, and then I'm going to fold it back. So I folded it forward, and then I'm going to fold it back, and I'll just glue that in place. Just using some hot glue. All right. And now I've got a nice little brim for my hat. So I'm going to place this around the top third of my wood disc and wrap it around. And the next tip I would suggest is glue the back first and leave the front unglued, because that way you can adjust the height of the forehead when you need to, when you're putting those eyes and everything on your face. And feel free to trim the sweater if it's too bulky or if you've got too much.
Yeah, you can kind of play around on the back side and pull it to where you need it to be, get it as tight as you need it.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's going to be looking at the back. All right, so I have it open in the back right now. And one of the things I'm doing, because this sweater is super thin and I want the hat to look a little chunkier, I'm actually going to just take another piece of sweater and I'm going to tuck this in. just to make the hat look a little chunkier. You don't have to do this part. This is where you can be creative. You know, you can, this way it's got a little bit of body to it because my sweater was super thin. And then once you're happy with that, you're going to glue the backside together. All right, you're going to gather it together at the top. And you can kind of glue the backside together a little bit. Keep everything in place. And then we're going to take a little piece of jute twine, and we're just going to tie off the top, and you can trim off any excess. So if it's too tall, don't worry about that. But let's take a little piece of twine. And we're just going to tie off the top of the hat to make like a little poof on the top. And Hillary, if you didn't want to do this part, you don't have to, because yeah, you've got a cute little beanie. That's adorable. You read my mind. It's adorable.
And I'm going to leave mine until I get my face on there. I'm going to leave mine unglued on that front side just to give me some wiggle room.
It does. It makes it easier to play with. Makes it really easier to play with.
So cute.
All right. So I'm going to quickly... You really sped ahead with that cool trick using a sock. But it's nice to see both ways. So,
if you wanted to, you could also use like fleece or other things that you may have too. So you think of sweater, but also think of socks, or think of just a scrap of fleece, whatever you might have lying around.
Cute fleece I have with the puppy dog prints. That would be a great way to dogify this project. Yep. Okay, so I've tied the knot there. And now I'm going to trim off the excess of my little poof.
I love the way that these ones turn out.
They're so cute.
The trimming them, and then once you see that little poof at the end is like, it makes it all come together.
It's adorable. And this one, I kept the poof long, and then I just bent the hat over and I glued it down. So you can do that too to make it a little long. This one I'm making a little short one.
So cute.
And then what I like to do with the ends of the jute, I know it's kind of silly, but I like to pull them apart and get them to be just a little fluffy so that it looks kind of finished, almost like a bow. So I'm going to do that real quick. And then we're going to gather together some buttons, some black buttons for some eyes. And we're going to use some orange felt for the carrot nose. That we'll do next.
I'm just
all right. So there, just sometimes those little extra details go a little extra way, a little way.
And it makes it really work with those wood slices, like the little bit of frayed jute, that sort of thing. It kind of gives that same vibe, so it works all the way throughout.
Ties the natural elements together, which is neat. All right, here we go. This is the fun part. So we're going to take our little eyes. Well, no, let's do the carrot nose first. That way we get the nose in place and we can set the eyes. So I just made the tiniest little carrot. Just take some orange felt and just make a funny little carrot shape, little triangular, bumpy triangle. And we're going to put this down. And you want it to kind of go up like at 2 o'clock on a dial. Kind of have it go up a little bit. Gives it a little quirky flavor, which is fun. And you can see the hat is falling down, but I didn't glue the top of the hat, the front of the hat yet. So this will give me some room to kind of play. And once I get the eyes in place, then I can glue down where I want the top of that hat to land. I learned that the hard way because I glued my hat down the first time and I had no room for the eyes the first time I did this. So,
and you can use hot glue, or I'm using the Fabri-Tac just so I have a little bit of wiggle room so I can get it at that angle that I'm hoping for.
Fabri-Tac is great. We love this glue. We're not affiliated with them in any way, but we've used other kind of fabric-y type glues This one stays sticky, but yet stays wet enough to allow you to move things. So it makes you like the best crafter ever because you really can avoid any kind of mistakes. Hot glue, you set it down and it's in place, and it really sometimes really difficult to pull apart and get it right, put it back in the place you want it to be. This stuff is great. Once it's dry, it's good to go. So we love that stuff. Oh, it's so cute. You can almost leave them like this, although we've got a lot more fun stuff to add to this little character, but those are adorable. So if you were into like minimalism or anything. And so now we're going to add some little eyes. Just have 2 little black buttons, or you could use green buttons or blue buttons.
I've got some little brown ones that I'm
that's cute.
Doing. So again, just kind of shop your craft stash and use what you've got. I was thinking I would need them little, but I might actually go a size up from these ones. Just to give them a little more.
Here's my little guy.
Oh, cute.
They're turning out cute. His hat is super stuffed. I might unstuff it a little bit. I don't know.
Now just got to find 2 that match.
That's the trick. I had all of my buttons out on the table, and I just was sorting so many of them to find the right ones. That's cute. All right. Well, at this point, you can go ahead and glue the front of your cap down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because now I know where my eyes are. So I can kind of determine the size of the forehead. And I don't know. I just think it looks cute when you give it a little bit of a. I mean, you can cover his eyes. He could be a badass snowman. All right. That's adorable. These turn out so cute. They're so easy, and there's so many ways to do these.
And it like the putting the buttons on, that's what I'm being a little particular here because this is really what gives it that personality.
It does.
So.
It does. It's still quirky though, because you can see they all turn out a little bit different. They each have their own little personality. They're so cute. One of the things I like about using buttons and the felt and everything that we're doing is you could use a black Sharpie for this to draw all the features on, but I like having kind of the 3D elements. One, it adds an extra element, texture and that to your little character, but it also makes it easier. You're not drawing on that glitter, or sometimes drawing on the paint underneath can be a little challenging with like a Sharpie or something, or even paint pens can blur and bleed. So I like having, I love it. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. My hat is way too big on this little guy, but it's hysterical. He's hysterical. All right. So then the next thing we're going to do is you're going to want to go through the yard and try and find a stick that has a little curve to it or a little bend in it. So I found one like this in my yard. And you're going to want to break that off, and we're going to make a little smile for our snowman with that.
And I actually used just a little tiny chunk of, I had a wreath form that was made of little twigs. So
great idea.
Just tried to look for a little piece that would
curve.
Work.
Yeah. And you don't need a lot. And like even this one that I have doesn't really have that much of a bend in the mouth. It's almost straight, but you can still make it work because this guy looks like he's got a little smirk on him, so definitely can do that. You can also take a little, whoops, and I just threw it. It just flew out of my hand. You can take a little V shape if you want to as well. So you can do all kinds of really fun, quirky little faces with your snow using twigs. And again, it kind of repeats that natural element, which I really like.
So cute.
Doesn't that just all of a sudden like come to life? Like, look. I love these. These are adorable. These are so cute. They turn out adorable. They're so fun. All right. Now we're going to zhuzh up the hat a little bit. So you can take, like, I grabbed some of this little sparkly pine needle kind of things from a Dollar Tree. It had like a cardinal on it and some other Christmassy things on it. And that's what I used for this little guy, as well as a little snowflake button. Put that there. So whatever you have, you can use some like really cute little gold buttons, some little blingy ones if you want. I'm going to use a little Christmas tree on mine. So we're just going to embellish the brim of the hat with whatever inspires you.
And I'm just trying to make a little bow that I think I'll put a button in the middle of.
That's a great idea. That's so cute. And I was going to use the little silver, but it doesn't show up as much on the white sweater as it looks. It looks prettier on the blue sweater. On my blue sweater, it shows up really nicely. Oh my gosh, how cute is this? It's so adorable. And they're surprisingly lightweight. You know, we're putting a lot on them, but they're really not heavy at all. Everybody in the family could make their own. You could have like a mom, dad, and some kiddos. You could do one for every, and make like a puppy dog one for your all your pups in the household. You could sign and date them on the back. Put everybody's name and date and the year, so you know when they were made. I always like doing that. I think every ornament, almost 99.99% of ornaments on my tree have a date on them, so I know when I hung them up on the tree what year they represent. So that's
really fun.
Yeah.
Well, and it's fun when you're decorating. Then you're kind of taking a trip down. You know, not just the ornament, but you also get to go year by year and stuff.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
Is. Yeah, it's a tradition my mom started when we were young, so we didn't have a whole lot of family around. So she wanted to make it special. So every year we got at least one ornament, and so I have my whole history is on our Christmas tree every year. So that's really kind of fun. Look at that! Isn't that cute? Adorable. I love these little guys. They're so cute. They're so fun. The twigs really like change the personality. They like, you know, they can be kind of quirky and smirky. You know, some of them can have like a cheesy big grin, you know, like it's just so fun. I really love these. And so you can take another piece of jute and glue it to the back to make a hanger. Or if you have like these little wire Christmas tree hangers, ornament hangers, I'm sorry. The little wire hooks is what I have. And then you can just open up the bottom of the hook, and then you're going to want to, at first I thought, oh, let's hang it on the back of the ornament, but that your ornament will hang forward. So what you want to do is if you're going to use one of these wire hooks, hook it to the top of the hat. Okay. And that way it'll hang straight. And it's perfect. And like I said, they're super lightweight. So they work really well with these hangers, these little wire hangers. And you can hang these everywhere. You can, if you don't have a tree, you can hang them in your kitchen window. You can hang them on your rear view mirror in your car. Like you could hang these little guys everywhere, or just have them as little shelf sitters on your bookshelf and things like that. A lot of fun, a lot of really great ideas that you could do with these.
I love the way that these turn out, and they're so easy. Like this is a perfect kind of craft party craft to do. It turns out great every time. They all have their own personality. All you have to do is glue stuff together. So you get an instant win. Like everybody can do it. If you're a little bit intimidated about crafting, this one is a super easy one to start
everybody.
with. So
yeah.
It'll be a very fun one.
And I love the sock idea. That makes it like elevates it so that it's really less work to do. So if you're intimidated, that's a super quick, easy way. And I love the little bow. There's just so many fun little embellishments you can do. And this is a great way to like use up your craft stash.
Yep.
So you could really, if you're having a craft party, lay everything out.
Mismatched socks, the one that gets eaten by the dryer,
that's a great
you can
idea.
use the other one for the ornaments.
What a great idea. That's so funny. All right. Well, everybody, we hope we've inspired you today to get out, get crafty, do something fun and festive for yourself this weekend. And if you do this craft, please tag us at Hound Hugger DIY. We would absolutely love to see your creations. We have lots more holiday ornaments, holiday themed craft tutorials, both for people and for dogs in our library. So be sure to go back and look at those. And again, last week we made these little pumpkin jack-o'-lantern garlands out of the same kind of wood slices. So that's another fun craft to do right there as well.
And the other thing I wanted to mention was we also on our YouTube Shorts, Instagram, or TikTok, you can follow us at Hound Hugger DIY, and you can see quick versions. So the short version, sped up version of us making these crafts, so you can get like all the steps really quickly. So definitely follow us there as well, because you get kind of both kinds of, you can watch us do it live in real time, or you can watch a really quick snippet highlight reel of making these crafts as well.
Yeah. And that makes things, sometimes that's what I want to do, is just watch it. They're like 30 seconds, a minute, and I know how to do it, and I can go and make one myself. So try to make it easy for everybody. Thanks so much, everybody, for being with us this happy Friday. Happy Thank Dog It's Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.